So this is what I normally shoot with, except that today there's a little bit of an issue. The lens cover is half stuck, half unstuck, and when it tries to open it, you get this loud clicking noise. Camera still works, but there's like, you know, this lens cover in the way, so I'm not gonna sit here holding the lens, you know, for any appreciable amount of time, so we're gonna have to get a new camera. It's like, it's not that it's duct taped together, but the bottom piece that the tripod mount goes in has been ripped out, so it's been reinforced with duct tape. But when I get home, I'm gonna try to fix this. And by fix it, I mean just permanently remove the lens cover, because I always have this wide angle lens on there, so there's absolutely nothing that the lens cover is actually protecting against. And if you've seen my videos, you know that the lens is going to be dirty no matter what I'm shooting with, so we'll see if we can remove that, but if not, I'm gonna have to buy a new camera. Why is it called nail polish when you're not polishing your nails, you're just painting over them? Jesus Christ. It's wrong to hate entire general classes of people, but since everyone's human, here's the classes of people that I fucking hate. Car dealers. Fuck car dealers and fuck car dealerships. The fuck is wrong with you? How about you just pick a price and sell the car for the price? Only car dealers get away with this shit. If you are a retail store and you try to mark prices and then sell them for a different price from what's marked on the shelf, the Department of Weights and Measures would come in and fine you. Like, I'm talking like $500 to $1,000 per instance. Not only are car dealerships a fucking racket, the fact that they even exist, the fact that you can't buy the car directly from the manufacturer like everything else you buy on this planet, it's such a scam. Such a scam. Such a fucking scam. If you work for the sales department of a car dealership, you're going to hell. And if you don't believe in hell, you probably are a car dealer. I don't believe in hell. I'm not a car dealer. If you're a car dealer, you can suck my nuts. You can suck my nuts. I'm gonna order some food. Let's do it. Can I get a bacon McDouble and a medium fry? Yeah. Another big pet peeve of mine is when you're on a street corner and there's a street sign, like, you know, those blade signs that tell you the name of the street, and there's only one. Instead of having two of them, there's only one, and it's the one for the street that you already know what the name is, or you don't care. Like, you're trying to figure out where you are. Like, are you serious? You saving money, bro? You saving money? The only way that a street sign should not have both signs at the intersection is if it's a dead end. If it's a dead end, then that's fine, because presumably you knew what street that was when you turned onto it. But if it's a through street and someone could be coming from the other direction, they suddenly don't know what street that they're at, fuck that. Fuck that. That's a traffic blocker. The worst feeling in the world is when you're going down a street and you're trying to find an address. So like you're going really slow and there's a guy behind you and he like starts honking at you and shit, and there's no place to pull over because there's like either parking or there's no parking and there's no room. And you get to the end of the street and you don't know where you are and you have to make a turn. Then you make a turn and the guy follows you and now you can't slow down anymore and there's no place to go. Fuck that. Fuck that. I mean, Google makes that better, but there's a lot of times when Google doesn't take you to the right place. In fact, every time I go someplace, Google asks me to tell it where the front entrance of that place is. Can you tell us where the front entrance of McDonald's is? How about you shove the images into some machine learning? You should use machine learning for that. Ingest, like, the aerial views of 50,000 McDonald's locations. And I guess you would have to label where the front of it is. Maybe that's what we're doing. That's probably what we're doing. We're labeling data for Google. We're labeling data for Google so that they know, given any McDonald's, past or present or future, where the entrance might be. They should use machine learning to tell me which Wendy's are going to be staffed by crackheads so that I know to go to the good Wendy's instead of the one where they're going to put fucking ice cream on my hamburger. I told my friend Harrison once that I went to Dairy Queen and it was really bad because they fucked up my hamburger, and he thought that he didn't realize that Dairy Queen sold hamburgers, so he thought that like they poured ice cream on like a hamburger I had in my car from like a different place or something. I don't know what he thought, but we were laughing about it for like hours. Just like that time I was really fat and I tried to write with all the pencils at once.
Sir, I'll continue the documents for you.
Or that time we poured yogurt and granola into the CPU fan. Our CPU fan, as you can see, is winding up. And we're going to go ahead and... Oh shit, the CPU fan seized. Don't let that happen. Get it going again. Or that time I exceeded the weight limit of a chair.
Just have a seat. Just have a seat.
I heard they were setting up sandbags on the shores of New Orleans to keep the coronavirus from reaching Admiral Lagasse. Admiral Lagasse. I'm sorry, I'm making no sense. I'm also making no dollars, baby. Woo! I promise that if I have to buy a new camera, the first video that I will shoot with the new camera is a video about TLS and cryptography. I've been putting it off, man. I've been putting it off. There's a lot of things in TLS that are hard to make up analogies for, but I'm working on it. I'm telling you. I don't really follow politics that much, but every time I see a picture of Joe Biden, he looks really constipated. Really constipated. Am I the only one that thinks Trump looks like someone's grandma? Dropbox used to be a really good way to back your photos up on Android. The second you would take a photo in the background, Dropbox would upload it to your Dropbox. So you never really had to worry about having your photos anywhere else. And then probably about a year and a half ago maybe, Dropbox just stopped working in the background on all my devices. It doesn't start uploading all your photos until you open the app. And I have a feeling that this is something that Android changed with their security model or something. But Dropbox hasn't said shit about it. They just act as if their app still has the same value it used to. And if this is not the case, like if this actually still works for people, and it just happens to stop working on all my devices, then, you know, let me know in the comments, but I don't really, I don't expect that's the case, because I've reinstalled Dropbox on like many devices now, and I keep running into this shit. And I do not have like the battery saver killing Dropbox. Like it is, I let all my apps run that want to run in the background. I don't kill any apps in the background. I would rather run out of battery on my phone than to like miss notifications or miss functionality that I'm expecting to happen. Especially Tile. Tile is another one where like if it stops running in the background, the value of the product is significantly reduced. So what is Tile? Tile are these little doohickeys. They're like Bluetooth beacons that tell you where your shit is. And while yes, you can page one if it's in range, the real benefit of Tile comes in the fact that your phone, and pretty much anyone's phone that's running Tile app, tracks the location of these things passively in the background. So when you open the app, even if it's not within range, you can at least see where it last was. And if your Tile app isn't always running in the background, then you're kind of a lot more fucked than you would have been if it was. Tile saved my ass once. I lost my wallet and I was at a mall and I opened the Tile app and it turned out that I actually lost my wallet in the previous mall I was at. So I not only went back to the previous mall, but then I used the app to triangulate where in the Sears it was. And I don't know if you're aware, but Sears has like 7,000 people employed to just stand around and do nothing. So each one of those people standing around doing nothing, they have their own like cash register. So like I had to go to like at least like 24 different little cash register spaces and ask the people, hey, did you find a wallet? Did you have a wallet? And I got to like number 27 and the lady's like, yeah, what color was it? I'm like, brown. And she opened the drawer and there it was. Thanks, Tile. Fuck you, Sears. Remember when Sears bought Kmart with Kmart's own money? So here's the automatic lens cap mechanism that's broken. I've already removed one of the springs that actually keeps it in this position, which is what I don't want. I'm gonna hot glue this in several spots to keep it open. Like I mentioned, I usually have several lenses over this, so like this internal lens cap doesn't actually do anything because this lens is always protected by the outer lens anyhow. So I'm really grateful I was able to take this apart and get to this mechanism without really having to go through any of the electronics or disassemble any of it. Literally the side of this case just came off and I have easy access to this. Obviously I'm working from home, so I'm in my pajamas. Here's my setup. Watching Governor Cuomo. So we'll see how this goes. If I fix this, then the next shot in the video will be back to the normal camera. Alright, so I got my camera working, as you can see. And now it's time to do a little something here. I need to mute Carlos Mencia. I made some rhetorical comments on his videos, some suggestions about what he should do with his career, and the motherfucker will not stop sending me these huge goddamn TLDR comments, making all kinds of excuses about things that happened before I was even born. So I'm just gonna go ahead and turn him off. I don't really I wish I had this option back when I used to watch Comedy Central, but bye. If you like my videos, support me on Patreon so I can get a new camera. Tell your friends about my channel. I don't know what number it is on their TV, but I think it's like 22 here in Pennsylvania.